Good morning, boys and girls. How you doing today? All right. So my name's Coach Clark, and this is my wife, Mrs. Clark, and this is our very special guest, Shaun Jr., also known as ShayJ. Now, 5 years ago, ShayJ was a senior at Shadow Hills High School, and he was out with his buddies riding his skateboard going to Taco Bell. You guys like Taco Bell? Yeah, going to Taco Bell to get something to eat, and he got hit by a car. Now, it wasn't the car hitting ShayJ that caused him to lose his life. It was his head hitting the road without a helmet on. So Mrs. Clark and I started the 4ShayJ Foundation. We come into the schools and we talk to you guys about the importance of wearing a helmet. The message that we share is to wear a helmet always for ShayJ. So I'd like to ask you guys some questions, but you need to answer me by raising your hands and not moving your lips. Shake your head if you can do that. Can you do that? All right. So how many of you guys ride bicycles? Okay, put your hands down. How many of you guys ride scooters? All right, put your hands down. How many of you guys ride skateboards? All right, put your hands down. Now, how many of you guys ride bicycles, skateboards, and scooters and don't wear a helmet? Ooh. Okay, that's quite a few. So I want to share some stuff with you. So in the United States, every hour, 5 kids either lose their life or have permanent brain damage from riding a skateboard, scooter, or bicycle without a helmet. Every hour. Every day, 100 kids either lose their life or have permanent brain damage from riding a skateboard, scooter, bicycle without a helmet. There's a little over 100 kids in this room. So you can look around, this amount of kids every day either lose their life or have permanent brain damage. Now, Mrs. Clark and I go to church with a gentleman who half his body is paralyzed. He can't talk very well, can't walk, because he doesn't have any use of half of his body. He was 9 years old riding a bicycle and hit a parked car in front of his house. When he fell over, he hit his head, paralyzed half his body. He's 56 now. He's older than Coach Clark. So he's lived his whole life pretty much half his body paralyzed. A father of a student that I talked to 3 weeks ago shared with me on Facebook. He says, "Coach, I want to thank you for your message." He said, "I was 12 years old riding my skateboard. I hit a rock, I fell, I hit my head. I lost my sense of smell for his whole life. He can't smell anything since he hit his head." See, our bodies are special. We can break a bone. You can break an arm, you can break a leg, you can scratch yourself and you can cut yourself. And it'll heal up, it'll get all better. Your brain is the only part of your body that once you damage it, will not heal itself. It's damaged for the rest of your life. Our brains are not made to take serious injury and get better. So we have to protect them. Now, is there anybody here that plays AYSO soccer? Any soccer players? Okay, all right. Are you guys allowed to go on a soccer field in AYSO soccer without shin guards? Nope. You get checked in before you play, right? Anybody play baseball or softball here? T-ball? Do you ever go out on a field playing baseball, softball, or T-ball without a mitt? Are you allowed to bat without a helmet? Nope. I coached football over at Shadow Hills High School, and I played football a good portion of my life, and I've watched it my whole life. Have you ever seen a football player on the field without a shoulder pad or helmet? No. So we play soccer, we wear shin guards. We play baseball, we use a mitt. We play football, we wear a helmet. We don't even question it, right? But we think we can ride a bicycle, skateboard, or scooter without a helmet, and it's no big deal. You have to wear a helmet when you're riding a bicycle, skateboard, or scooter. When you get in mom and dad's car, you put a seatbelt on? Yeah, it's the law, right? It's the law you have to wear a helmet when riding a skateboard, scooter, or bicycle. It's the law. But we think it's no big deal. The same week that ShayJ had his accident, 12-year-old boy in Palm Springs was riding his skateboard in front of his house, hit a rock. Now, if you guys ride a skateboard, you know what happens when you hit a rock. The board stops, right? Fell off, hit his head, lost his life. The same week ShayJ's accident, a sophomore, Indio High School, on Jefferson Street, right around the corner from here, hit by a car. He was in a coma for 2 months before he passed away. That's just in our community. Last summer, freshman, Xavier High School, riding his skateboard in his driveway. Kids tell me all the time, they say, well, Coach, I'm riding in my driveway or my neighborhood or in back of my house. I don't have to worry about traffic and cars. And I tell them, is that concrete at your house any softer than the concrete out on the road? No. Freshman at Xavier riding his skateboard in his driveway, comes down the driveway, board hits the street, stops, he comes off of it, hits his head, spent a week in a coma. They still don't know the extent of his brain damage, and it happened last summer. It happens all the time. 5 kids every hour, 100 kids every day. But we think, oh, it's no big deal, man. It's not going to happen to me. But it happens all the time. What really upsets me is when I see kids riding their bicycles. You guys ever see someone riding their bicycle and their helmet's hanging from the handlebar? And I'm looking at it going, that's got to be on your head. Or the guy that's riding his skateboard and his helmet's strapped to his belt loop. I'm glad his butt's going to be protected when he crashes, right? We got to protect our heads. I don't worry about protecting the bicycle, and I don't worry protecting about the backside. I want to protect our head. But I see it all the time. But you know, guys, we're not going to make a difference until you all start to police yourselves. Now, when I say that, kids say, well, Coach Clark, what do you mean by police ourselves? That means when you get ready to go to Taco Bell or the park or somewhere, and you're riding your bicycle and you got your helmet on, and you go to your buddy's house and he grabs his bike and comes out and says, all right, let's go, but doesn't have his helmet on, you look at him and you go, whoa, what are you doing? You can't ride without a helmet. And your buddy goes, oh man, I don't want it, it's uncomfortable, makes my head sweat. It messes up my hair. When your buddy says that to you, you go, no. Coach Clark was at our school and told us about ShayJ. You know about ShayJ? And you can share the story about Mrs. Clark's and my son. Let me tell you what, ShayJ was really cool. He's a really good kid. And his 2 buddies that were with him that day would do anything if they could go back and tell him to grab his helmet. See, Mrs. Clark and I, we have 4 children, and all of our kids had helmets. All the ages that they were growing up riding, they all had helmets. And we used to tell them, hey, put your helmet on before they'd go riding. But we didn't go outside and make sure they did it because we thought, that's not really a big deal. Until we found out it is a real big deal. Again, 5 kids every hour, 100 kids every day. It's a huge deal. But like I was saying, ShayJ's 2 buddies, they'd do anything if they could go back to that day and say, hey dude, grab your helmet. But when you guys, the message that you hear from us, when you guys are with your buddies, You know to tell your friends, get a helmet, right? You know to do that now. Do you guys know what a pledge is? You take a pledge with me? No? Who said no? Don't say no. Tattletale. Take a pledge with me. You do that? All right. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Shaun Clark. You're not Shaun Clark. I'm Shaun Clark, man. You said you know how to do this pledge deal. Let's try this again. You're supposed to say your name. So you state your name, all right? I state your name. Oh, you're one of those groups, huh? All right, we're going to try it one more time. I pledge to wear my helmet when riding my skateboard, scooter, or bicycle. Oh, yeah. All right, thank you, boys and girls. Hey, Mrs. Clark and I brought you guys something today. So we brought each of you guys a bumper sticker and a helmet sticker, okay? They are for you. They go on your personal property. If your parents will let you put the bumper sticker on your car, that's awesome. When Mrs. Clark and I drive around the community and see them, it really makes us feel special. Because the bumper stickers are special. They're purple for Shadow Hills High School, where ShayJ went to school. The writing is green for the green helmets, and this was ShayJ's favorite color. And it has his birth date and his passing date on it. Now, I'll tell you a little quick something about, do I have a couple minutes, Ms. Clark? Tell you something special about ShayJ. ShayJ was a math and science whiz. He was being recruited by the Navy to work on their nuclear aircraft carriers and submarines. He was going to go into the Navy. He was a musician. He was a singer. He loved to sing. ShayJ, his senior year of high school, was selected for the state honor choir. When he got there, they heard him sing, and they said, dude, would you join the men's ensemble? 12 boys selected in the state of California. He was one of them. He was a special guy, and he was taken away from us too early for something as simple as wearing a helmet when riding a skateboard. So we got to get the message out there, guys. We got to make a difference. I'll tell you one last quick story. A young boy at Nellie Kaufman middle school, in Cathedral City. He heard our presentation. He came up to me afterwards and he said, Coach, he said, I didn't used to wear a helmet, but he said, I'll wear a helmet now for ShayJ. Thank you for sharing your message. 2 months later, I get a phone call from the police chief at Cathedral City. He says, Coach Clark, I want to thank you for what you're doing and the message that you're sharing with the kids. It's making a difference. He said, last night on Date Palm, a young boy, 12 years old, named Gabriel, was out riding his skateboard and was hit by a car. Gabriel went flying in the air 20 feet before he hit the ground. He broke his arm, broke a couple ribs, scratched his face up. There was a hole in the side of the helmet that Gabriel was wearing when his head hit the road. That helmet saved his life. The news interviewed Gabriel the next day, and the police department gave him a new skateboard, and I gave him a helmet. And they asked him, they said, would you ever consider riding a skateboard or bicycle without a helmet again? And Gabriel said, absolutely not. I used to think it was no big deal. It's a very big deal, boys and girls, and I want you to promise yourself, promise your mom and dad, and promise your friends that you will wear a helmet always for ShayJ. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.